Hoover's just broke, my iron's just broke, so I need stuff for the house because everything's breaking. And I also owe some money for rent. It's my birthday as well today. I'm paying off debts on my birthday, getting a loan on my birthday. You know what I mean? It's nice.
Moneyline started about 10 years ago to tackle financial exclusion in a particular borough. A typical customer would generally be a young woman living in social housing and will have multiple dependents and basically living wholly or partially on benefit and managing their finances largely week to week. We got involved with the University of Salford because we already had quite a long-standing relationship with Professor Carl Dayson, who worked in financial inclusion. He suggested we meet up with the School of Computing and Science because they were looking to run what's called a knowledge transfer partnership. We knew we had this kind of bank of data that we collected over a period of time for all our customers, and we wanted to put it to some use to try and analyse were there any patterns in that data that might predict the risk of lending to certain types of customers.
I work mainly in the field of data mining. Data mining is a field where you look at vast volumes of data and try and extract patterns and decision-making models. There's no science really in creating decision models for this particular group of people. What you have to do is discover the knowledge that minimises the risk and enables the organisation to lend in a sensible, ethical way.
I left work about 5 years ago to look after my kids, and after that it started getting rather difficult to manage with the money. 3 boys, 7, 5 and 1.5. They're quite expensive with the clothes and the shoes. The first time I come in it was to fix up my new house. Since then I've been in and had a few more loans to help me out with Christmas and like birthdays.
An ordinary bank, in terms of how they assess a customer, will look at traditional credit scoring, which will look at credit card behaviour, which will look at different loans and repayments on loans, where our customers are largely operating outside of that. They're mostly dealing in cash, and they're mostly not really making full use of a bank account because they only really have access to a basic bank account.
A lot of people have got themselves into a lot of difficulty out there, the doorstep lenders and the high street lenders. The typical customers coming in with loans outstanding of £500, average interest on that is approximately about £80 per 100.
And then we do get the older generation as well, who tend to obviously renew the loans one after another. A lot of the older generation have around about 6 or 7 loans with us.
And what's the reason for the loan?
For a baby. Baby and a trip for my son. He's going away next week.
Oh really? Where's he going?
Press that in with the school.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
I've already paid for the trip, but there's just a few bits I need to get for him to go away with.
What we managed to do is to develop a microfinance model which can be used for small lending. The work at Salford focus on something called cost-sensitive learning that takes account of cost and risk as well as accuracy. The main benefit is that they're able to help people who wouldn't otherwise not get loans. It would be impossible to allow them to grant loans on the risk levels that are perceived. In actual fact, the risk levels are significantly reduced if you use data mining to produce the models and then apply the data mining models to make a decision.
The research has helped us to actually have the confidence to expand into more geographical locations. We ultimately want to make the business national, and it means more people who wouldn't necessarily have had access to the service will have access to affordable finance.
One of the big benefits for the university has been that it's brought together people from the social sciences side and the computer science side in a multidisciplinary project, taking account of social factors as well as hard objective factors and providing solutions that a single discipline on its own would have been unable to provide.
It's access to knowledge that we wouldn't have internally, and we can use that knowledge to develop the business.
Just need you to sign and date the application form for me, please.
A lot of them, they're extortionists, aren't they, mate? They charge us like a 999%. It's ridiculous. They shouldn't be allowed to do that.
We're really pleased that the models we've developed has enabled a more consistent approach to lending in a way that helps people who would not normally get loans from banks, people who probably need the money the most, and people who would otherwise struggle.
I don't know where I'd be without you, to be honest with you. You've been a godsend.